If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Central Valley Talk. My name is Ray Johns. I'm your host, and the name of my show is Voices Not Yet Heard. And like we say every week, we hope that perhaps your voice will get heard today. For the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about hope, the pursuit of happiness, and the American dream. And I, again, went out this week and talked to a few people and virtually got the same answer. You know, people, their hope is dimming in this country, you know. They don't have time for the pursuit of happiness, and they don't believe in the American dream anymore. They think that it was certainly true in their grandparents' time and perhaps even their parents' time, but that it has certainly avoided them. And I want to tell you that there is hope. You know, there's a lot of reasons that I say that, and I say that with a smile on my face because I'm going to tell you something. We need a leader in this country, somebody that can give the people hope, something that you can hang on to. If you recall, a week ago, the divorced mother of three who worked so hard, she lived such a mundane life. I mean, she worked, she came home, she made dinner for her children, got up and did it again day after day after day. The American people need more than that. We need hope. You know, we really need hope. And I'm telling you, Donald Trump can do everything he says he can do. Do your due diligence, like Gary and I encourage you every week. Find out about this man. And let me welcome Gary to the show.
Thank you, Ray.
Welcome back, buddy. Again, we need you.
It's always
we need
good.
you.
It's always good to talk with you, Ray. And a lot did happen this last week. Again.
Talk to us about it.
And one of the things I noticed last night, and it just hit me, that difference in of two people, of the characters of two different people.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's forget about the other part as far as the voice and so forth that maybe you don't like or you do like or anything. But what really struck me, and I read it this morning, where Hillary warned Donald Trump that he should not talk about the Federal Reserve and the stock market. He shouldn't be out there saying that we're sitting on a bubble about to bust. And then she was doing that with the idea of saying that Donald Trump was wrong in saying something about it to the people of America.
That's because she's a part of the bubble, right?
Well, she's part of the bubble. She's Wall Street. He's Main Street.
I love it.
But what was interesting, it said now there was a case where she was thinking of herself. Trump was sitting there, was thinking of the American people. Mm-hmm. And he goes out there, and so much is said to everyone, you've been warned. And Hillary, she thinks that should be not said or covered over. And that's what's wrong with the whole thing ever since they've been in power. Because they don't tell the people what they need to hear.
That's right.
They pander to them,
Sure
and they BS them.
Oh, yeah.
Is what it comes down to. So that, oh, no, he shouldn't tell that to the people. Well, why not?
That's their standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's their standard.
It's like if a herd of sheep, people like a herd of sheep going up to slaughter, and Trump says, hey, don't go up that chute. Boy, you don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
There's a slaughterhouse at the end of that. Well, Hillary sits there and says, oh, no, don't say anything. She owns the slaughterhouse.
See? Absolutely. A great analogy, guy.
Simple as that. And that was one of the things I picked up on there. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't know how you following that, but that woman is not a healthy woman.
Oh, I've heard.
And she is a lot more unhealthy than what, of course, is being what anybody to see. And
She
I
certainly
didn't
coughs a
realize.
lot, doesn't she? She
Pardon?
coughs all the time.
Well, she coughs all the time, and the reason is I went and listened to a doctor that specialized in that. Now, he's never examined her, but he says every symptom that disease,
Oh, my goodness. Let's hope not.
and she is. I mean, he states that she's unfit to be president.
Yeah, she has that. She would be.
She locks up. She can't remember.
Yeah.
She said she couldn't recall the simplest of things with this FBI 39 times. That she now, if you can't recall that little bit of, but they were asking, how in the world are you going to recall anything when you're sitting there?
In a very powerful position.
Yeah, in the Oval Office. Doesn't make sense either, does it?
No.
And so she's highly compromised in a number of ways. Her character over the years and everything else. But right now she has this illness that's it's a very serious thing that the people should know about.
Didn't they just have some exams, or there's some exams that they have to take, both her and Donald Trump?
No, not
I thought.
most presidents release their medical records, and neither one of them had. But Trump says he would.
Oh, okay.
And but she has not, and doesn't look like she wants to or going to. And I think that one of the people caught that she had something in her ear, and they got a photograph of it. It looks like a little hearing aid in her left ear. And I noticed last night, because I was conscious of this, and I noticed when she was being asked a question, she was talking to the audience, and it was like the same thing, and it was real canned. And I thought, man, I mean, how come that's happening, Well, what they suspect was happening is she was being fed what to say through that.
Oh, my goodness.
deal
I
in her
bet
ear.
you're right. I was thinking that she was having some type of hearing problem. Well, that makes sense, what you just said.
You could see it where the camera catches that in her ear. You know how those little.
So her
it would
answers-
actually be like a
Her
microphone.
answers were like, what, somewhat delayed? Before
Well,
she-
and it was
yeah.
it was like it was canned.
Okay.
It was like somebody was reading the answer, like she was reading the answer. And they kind of suspect that perhaps that was coming through that, which amounts to would be a microphone in her ear. You see, and
Very well be.
I noticed when she would be asked those questions, she would turn and instead of looking, and if it's a question that maybe you need to think about, you're going to look at that person that asked you, to try to get some feel for it. She would just immediately turn and come out and talk so that she wouldn't be interrupted, because she was trying to run the clock out, if you will. It was pretty obvious what she was doing there, and I don't know. It's just things like that, and I just hope that people pick up on it and forget about it. You may love Hillary Clinton, but my God, you may not need her to be your president. You see what I mean?
That's why we tell you to do your due diligence. Take a look at what Gary just said and find out for yourself. We're going to go to commercial here, and we'll be back here at 2 and 2.
And I'm proud to be an
I'm back with my guest, Gary Miguel. Before I get started, let me explain that if you're watching me now, I am live. The number will appear on the screen. You feel free to call in and talk to either Gary or I or both of us if you wish. It is live. If you look at me later or see me later, it'll probably be a rebroadcast. So now's your time to call in and talk to us. Tell us what you think about all this. Gary?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about something, keeping a somewhat of a perspective, perhaps. But if you go back during the Depression, which none of us were born in, but you see those pictures of those soup lines, right? And you see people stand there with a bowl in line, and nobody should go hungry in America, right?
No.
But in those days, they didn't have EBT cards, and so they went to the soup line. And there were long lines, but now if you take today, and think of it this way, Ray, think of that EBT card as being a bowl. And you're going to go down, everybody with an EBT card now, instead of an EBT card, has a bowl like they did in the 30s.
Go get their bowl of soup.
And go get their bowl of soup. Okay. the line for those soup lines and the number of soup lines would be in the tens of thousands
Oh,
if you keep it all
absolutely.
in,
Yes.
apples and apples. It would go for miles, 24/7, all over the
country.
nation. Remember, that EBT card is not a bowl of soup or a bowl that you go up there to get in the soup line. Now, if you really think about that, it puts it in perspective of how much better are we now than they were in the 30s. Well, isn't the people with an EBT the same as somebody going up to get something to eat?
Well, yes.
That's the same thing, isn't
Yes.
it? Isn't the number the same? In other words, everybody that rolls up there to go with an EBT card, you take the numbers of those people all over the United States, and you'd have soup line. Fresno, I don't know how many they'd have to have here in Fresno,
It'd be tons. You're right.
and everybody standing in line, and those lines would go for miles. So we got a real problem.
Well, dependency quadrupled under this administration.
That's what I'm getting at.
It quadrupled. I mean,
Well, you mentioned hope there with those. I can understand. Why would you have any hope?
no, yes.
Because there's no alternative being offered, right? You don't hear of Hillary coming up with an alternative. You definitely don't hear Obama coming up with an alternative.
Well, he's already had his chance and he failed.
Terribly.
No.
It's bigger
And-
now than ever. There's more people, like you said, dependent than ever. So there's got to be a different way, okay? And there is. And the different way is what Trump is talking about, which
It
is
is
a
the
chance of
only way.
an opportunity, and it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be overnight. But right now, there is nothing except more EBT cards.
You're absolutely right.
And right
You're
now, there is no
absolutely right
opportunity.
there.
And my gosh, it will end, and when because it's got to end somewhere, somehow. But how it normally ends in a takeover of a country, which is what this is all about, and we have the choice to stop it. The voters of this country have the choice to keep it a free country, or it goes the other direction.
It's spiraling that way as we speak.
And we're not going to get another chance, because by then you're going to have the people, like Hillary, that's going to appoint the Supreme Court, which is going to destroy the Constitution, which is going to destroy the Second Amendment, and that's one of the first things that goes. And all you have to do is just go down the history and see what happens. And you say, well, I'm just not that interested or whatever. My God, you better be interested, because you're going to be the first to go in a forced labor situation. And believe me, there has never been any kind of takeover of that magnitude without there being forced labor.
That's absolutely true. In history, absolutely true.
Yeah, in the history of communism going way back. So I think if you want to look at it this way, you say, well, do I vote for doom, or do I vote for at least an opportunity or a chance?
It's hope.
Yep.
It's hope. Donald Trump is hope, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, you really don't have a choice. Please, like Gary said, do your due diligence. Take a look for yourself. We've got 60 days. That's 2 months. That's all the time we have before we step up to the plate and make a decision as to the direction of this great country. We must make the right decision for the sake of yourselves, for the sake of this country.
Yeah, and I think that of any time to do your due diligence would be an election like this. It's not one of these deals where you kind of, because the outcome is catastrophic if it goes the wrong way. That's what it boils down to. And people got to realize, well, that doesn't affect me.
Oh,
Like,
yes,
heck,
it does.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
Man, when they come knocking on your door or this and that and taking whatever and telling you to get in a train car and head somewhere because we need labor out there picking cantaloupes or something. That's how they get rid of the people. China did it.
This is scary to me.
Killed millions.
It is Hillary Clinton is scary to me, and she should be scary to everyone. Take a good look at some of the things that this woman has done. Just take a look.
Well, she showed me her colors last night. It was I don't know what else she'd said, I listened to, but boy, this caught me like that. Is when she sit there and said that words mean something, and that basically saying Trump should shut up about warning people about the Federal Reserve and about the stock market. Well, then if he should shut up, doesn't that mean then you agree that he should shut up and that you're hiding something. And what you're hiding is that slaughterhouse you own over there. That's what you're hiding. That's the way I seen it. I seen it as
Oh,
if
that's beautiful.
all she was thinking about was herself. And she even goes in and says, vote for her, support her. Well, Trump's always America first,
America first.
the people, all of you.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the contrast could ever be so vivid.
Oh.
If
I
you
just
just
wish people
sit
would
back
take
and
a
think a
look.
little bit,
Just look, I mean, we've gone over and over and over and over some of the things. I mean, it's the emails, it's Benghazi, it's the Clinton Foundation, it's all of this stuff. And I think we said, 7% probably,
As far as
probably 7% probably went for the cause that was due, and probably the other 93% went in the Hip National Bank.
oh yeah, you're talking about
The Clinton
yes,
Foundation.
I'm sorry.
It's being investigated.
Well, it was 10%.
okay. That's still,
Supposedly, but this is interesting because I just saw this last day. It was beautiful. Okay, she's getting hammered over this foundation that because it was a pay for play, bribery, whatever you want to call it. There's about 10% they figure that went to good causes, and she focused on that. She says, "Now we've helped HIV," and she went on and on, with what all the help they've been doing. Guess what? Kennedy. It was the Kennedy show. I don't know if you ever. That's on
Yes.
Fox. She comes on there immediately with a full screen picture of El Chapo.
oh my goodness.
There's been nobody give more to the poor and causes than El Chapo. But where did he
I
get his
missed
money?
that.
But where did he get his money? How many people has he killed to get it? How about Hillary? The same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many people that have been killed. There was no ISIS before she got there.
Oh, I know that. No.
And so she
As soon as
said,
we pulled out. Yeah.
like, oh man, I'm real good. I give to all these causes. But look how you got your money to give.
Yeah.
What did it take? And here comes Chapo. I mean, that Kennedy,
These are the things you need to know about Hillary Clinton. These are the truths about Hillary Clinton
I mean-
that you really know. If you're straddling the fence, if you're independent, take a very close look at Hillary Clinton. Do your due diligence on her. And when you're done, do your due diligence on Donald Trump. I think you'll be surprised.
yeah, you would be surprised. And this was years ago. This fella called me, and Trump talked about it one time. Him spent a lot of time in the state of Washington, and he said that he had his family and they were on this highway. I know the highway. It's Highway 82 out of Yakima down to Tri-Cities, and he said his car broke down. He had a Jeep, and he had his family with him, and it was on the side of the road. And it's pretty sparse out there. And his car broke down, and he called 3A's to come and get his car. And he says this big, kind of like a limo, car pulled up alongside him, and this big guy got out and come over to him and says, "Are you having a problem here?" And he said, "Yeah, but I've called. I've already got help." He said he reached in, pulled out his wallet, and gave him $200. He said, "No, I'm fine." He said, "No, you give it $200." Now he didn't know anything at the time, but he said, or paid any attention. Now since this Trump's been, he says that is just looks like the guy that pulled over and gave me $200. He says, I don't know if it is or not, but I don't know who else it would have been or why would have done, because he's done that enough times.
Oh my God! I've heard of him doing things.
Well,
like
there was
that.
a lady that had a situation like that, and he had found out that they were about to lose their ranch there. I think it was Iowa or somewhere, and he went and paid off the mortgage for him.
I've heard that too.
And he's the real deal. He's the authentic deal.
He's definitely the real deal.
And we talked about that also. If you'll notice the pandering that goes on, you'll notice when Obama goes into an all-black neighborhood how he talks. Mm-hmm. You notice how Hillary when she
too.
goes into
Yeah.
same thing, right? You notice when Trump goes in there, he just keeps talking like Trump.
Yeah.
That's
Because that's who he is.
He's
you
being
know?
authentic.
Yes.
And it just comes out blatantly. Just like last night really hit me when that woman was criticizing this guy for warning the people from going to the slaughterhouse. That just got me. I thought, Why, you son of a gun.
How can she talk after the emails? Just the
I know.
emails and the foundation, but just the emails.
And the people that's been killed over there in the Middle East,
Thousands of people.
you know, she
Thousands
went
of
to Libya.
people.
That was, and she's into intervention, and she talks about Trump with a happy trigger. That woman is boom, boom. And Bill Clinton was bombing people to take the attention off of what he was doing in the Oval Office with an intern. I mean, do those people have any conscience whatsoever?
Do you really want these people running this country?
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
We're already spiraling downward, you know. They will take us, believe me, all the way down. Please, like we keep saying, you know, take a good look. Do your due diligence. Find out about both candidates.
And we're not going to have. I'll tell you what. If it goes Hillary, you're going to see some real rapid changes. We're going into a dictatorship, which is really, if you think about it, Obama's doing that already. Look, there's no president's put out that many executive orders, that many regulations. What does that mean? Government control, government control.
Government control. Exactly.
Okay, are those being approved by Congress or by the Senate or anything? No, he's doing that on his own. More than any president in the history, all put together.
That's what I said
I mean,
in one of the
that's
past
a
shows.
dictatorship going.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Right.
know, making decisions not at the will of the people
Of course,
at all.
people are absolutely to be used,
Yeah.
and they're the useful idiots if they vote for Hillary Clinton. And the first ones to be liquidated is the useful idiots. I can see him. I can see him doing this, Ray. I can see have everybody has to go down to their local civic center and sign these papers. You know, I remember in the old days, you know, we go down and get vaccinations like that, you know, something like that, or just like during World War II, you know, everybody had to go do something, register or whatever. I see her doing that and giving this test. Did you vote for Hillary Clinton? You mark yes. She says, okay, all of you go to that room over there. And you go to that room over there and you look around and you say, my God, there's no shower heads in these showers. And then you peek out and says, Hillary, but I voted for you. She says, anybody dumb enough to vote for me, I don't want them around. They go,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. A terrible analogy. and very possible.
well, I mean, you think things like that, you think those people thought it was possible that they'd be loaded on train cars going to
No.
gas chambers?
No,
And
absolutely not.
I'm not suggesting it be in that. It doesn't have to be in that form. It could be in another form. Stalin used the mines or Siberia to get
Yeah.
rid of them. They figured something like 10 million
Yeah.
died, perished under those kind of conditions. That's how you get rid of them quick. How about China? When
Another one,
Mao
yes.
Zedong. People went out in those fields, and they're talking about old, young, whatever, and they perished. Cambodia, the Khmer Rouge. I mean, I know Cambodia. She's told me what.
I've heard.
You know.
I've heard their horror stories. Absolutely.
You have too.
You know.
You've heard that.
Yes.
And so we sit here and think, well, that can't happen here, man. This is America. Well, maybe it's not America if you elect the wrong person.
Things change, and they're.
You know.
I mean, you've got somebody that's right now supporting this present administration, and we know where we're at with that. You know, people are paying 3 times the price for food on the same salary.
Isn't that
That's an
something?
impossibility almost. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Isn't it?
I noticed that inflation, and nobody's talking about it. But Ray, you just mentioned that because you notice it. You go to a restaurant, it's something that used to cost like a hamburger. It didn't seem that long ago, $1.50, $2.
Not anymore.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy, Kentucky Fried Chicken, you see what that went up to.
Everything. Everything.
And, of course, I don't know how Trump's going to handle all that or how long it's going to take, but it sounds like he's going to get with it right quick. And there's going to be...
I don't think he's going to waste any time. It's like I keep telling everybody.
Yeah.
I said, Trump does not want to fail Trump.
No.
He doesn't. He's going to make these things happen
Well-
because he's off the chart with an ego, which is great.
Right.
You
And I think the thing is, too, that he's going to, he's not saying it otherwise. It's going to take a lot of hard work and it's going to take time. But,
Sure it is.
people don't mind sacrificing
If
and
they
working
know-
if they have hope.
That's right. Thank you. If they have hope, and
Yeah.
that's what we've been talking about.
Well, one of the biggest
hope.
sins that I've seen committed with all this giveaway, let's say starting in the early 60s or something like that, the biggest injustice in the world is giving people all these things, and that just destroys the spirit, it destroys the hope, it destroys all things. you're talking
Absolutely, and you become dependent on the government, which is paid for by the people. That's what happens.
about. And it's paid
that's
for
what
by the
did.
people. That's the only place it comes
Yeah.
from. And she's talking about raising taxes to those that are doing that. That means that pretty soon they start losing hope. My God, I go down to work, I got to give half of today's. I work 4 hours for the government, 4 hours for me.
Yeah.
After a while, you sit there and say, well, maybe I ought to get on the soup line.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Why
You
don't
know?
I get an EBT card?
I can make more money sitting at home watching soap operas, you know.
And
How sad.
And there's a lot of able-bodied people that elect that, you know, and for whatever reason, and it's so corrupt.
Of
It's
course it
unbelievable.
is.
I mean, people that you see that got disability. A friend of mine told me he went and tried to get disability, and he was being real honest about it. You seen a guy in there that had a limping and had some walker type thing. He went in there, and he says, we went outside and looked and watched him. Heck, he went walk, put that thing in the car.
I'm telling you, it is. There's major fraud.
Oh my God, it's all over the place, you know.
And that's only one phase.
And that's true. And I think that here's the thing: the problem you don't want to do is you got to be very careful that when you go through cutting that out, that you don't cut the people that really deserve to be on there. You
This
see
is
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of them that
Oh, sure. There's a lot of people that have. Thank God
Yeah.
we can afford to keep those people with quality of life.
yes.
And you got to be careful that somebody that's deserving. When I say deserving, they need it for whatever.
Yes.
You can understand that, but
Well,
man,
yeah.
you know that we
It serves a purpose,
Well,
but
sure.
it's been abused so much that
Right.
that purpose has almost disappeared.
you know that
Yeah.
we are the most disabled country in the world.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
We have more people on disability than any one country in the world. That must be a dangerous place to live. Huh?
Good grief. I didn't know that, Gary. That's a phenomenal. Hang on a minute. We're going to take a break here. We're going to go to commercial, and we'll be back in 2 and 2. I'm back with my great guest, Gary Magellan. I need to tell you that I'm live now. If you're watching me right now, feel free to call in. A number will appear on the screen. And talk to Gary and I, if you feel like it, about any of the things we're talking about. Feel free to call in. That's what this is all about. We're trying to keep you as informed as we can. And Gary's got a couple of things that he wants to talk about, so I'm just going to kind of turn it over to him. Gary?
Well, one of the things, Ray, would be these are more almost like questions: is why is it that we need to have 550% more Muslims come into this country right now?
Especially since ISIS has already made the threat that they will infiltrate, and you know they will.
Then ask yourself this: then, if we need more people, why don't we take care of the people that we have here already that are in these huge, massive plantations called inner cities across America?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we should be doing. That's putting America first.
That's putting Americans first. And that, to me, makes more sense. Well, we need more of these immigrants. We don't need the immigrants like we did back when this country was being built. That was a whole different set of people that come over then. This is people coming over here to get what they can out of America. Those people come over to go to work and make an opportunity for themselves. We're not doing that now.
Who's going to pay for all these people? Who's going to pay for this increase
Well,
in
of
people?
course.
This is going to cost billions of dollars.
And it will drag. Well, it already is, because look at the national debt. They can't even control that.
$19 trillion right now. And you want to add to that? And like I said before, that's $58,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country.
Well, I don't know, Ray. To me, I'm obviously not everybody and not everybody in anything. But if you take all the people in those inner cities right now that have been born there like third generation or so, are you telling me that they do not have the capability to be just like somebody else if they have the opportunity?
Well, of course they do.
A lot of them
course
won't,
they do.
but a lot of them will. And that's the same thing anywhere. It's a cross-section of anywhere.
It's been
Some
proven.
people don't make it, but a lot of them do.
It's been proven that it can be done.
Yeah, so why have
more than once?
Exactly, and you'll see stories like that. You see some. Well, I was raised in the inner city. Well, Ben Carson himself.
Perfect example.
Now, if he can get out of there, that tells me so can a lot of others. You see what I mean? And I don't know. I think that we need to really concentrate on our own people right now.
Oh, we certainly should.
You know.
I heard that there was a bill being tossed around about giving jobs to youth in this country for next summer. You know, I thought, my goodness, how many inner city kids need to work and would work?
Well, Ray, I remember when I was a kid, my work started when maybe, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. So you'd feeding
oh,
calves
yeah.
and this and that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what kids were for, was
Sure.
to work. You had a whole lot of them because you'd have a lot of hands.
Absolutely.
Girls and boys, you know. And then that all changed. I guess it's illegal to hire some kid under 14 or something like that.
I don't know what it is, but it's not like it
ridiculous.
used to be.
And you have, when a kid's working like that, he learns responsibility and he learns a lot of things that he's going to need later on. We got kids we're turning out of college that have never worked a day in their life.
How sad is that?
22-year-old guy that in those days that people were having families and building their family into a sharing into the free enterprise system, we'll say.
You think that this, you know, so many things have changed. So many things we see changing. It's like I say almost every week, you know, I mean, we took God out of the equation of this country, and that doesn't leave anything as far as I'm concerned. You know, we need the Pledge of Allegiance back in the schools. I'd like to see this generation of children reciting the Pledge of Allegiance like we did. I think it builds character.
Well, sure does.
You know, and faith in this country. You know, we need to believe. We need to believe in something. Put your faith in God that He will help you make the right decision on November 8th for the President of the United States. You know, we need to see that. We have hope. There is hope, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I think that was a real disservice when they did away with the requirement that everybody spent so much time in the service. You know, I think at that time it was 2 years. Everybody had to do it. Now that was not women, but that was men. Now we have both men and women, and that should be a situation where there's different areas they can go into. Who has that is Israel,
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
and so does Switzerland. In fact, did you know that in Switzerland that every able man has to go to the military, is issued a weapon, and he has to maintain that weapon in his house in working order, and he goes once a year and qualifies 1 or 2 weeks or something like that to make sure that he is capable of handling that weapon, is maintain that weapon until the
Excuse
age 55.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, after age 55, it's voluntary. Now, how much crime do you think they're going to have in Switzerland?
They're not going to have a lot, you know. Everyone knows that, I'm sure.
And
Great deterrent.
Israel's another one. Man, if anybody should be easy pickings, it would be Israel, because you don't mess with Israel.
And they sit right in the middle of everything.
Right in the middle.
Right smack dab in the middle of everything.
Isn't that
And
something?
yet
Yeah.
they are a powerhouse.
And they have a strict ethic, work ethic that they develop, and a pride they develop. And well, those people, my God, they stand up to anybody in the world. You
Yes,
know
they
what I
will.
mean? They're like a chihuahua when you're walking down the road.
And there's so few of them compared to everybody
oh my
else.
gosh,
you know?
yeah. And I tell people this. People ask me, says, "Well, the United States got the best fighter pilots in the world, of course. You know, of course, everybody, yeah, and which is true. But I'll tell you who's one better, and that's the Israelis.
Oh, they say they have an Air Force that's
Let me
unbelievable.
tell you what they do different. And this gets
Now,
back.
you know because you're a fighter pilot.
Well,
so I want
man,
that. Great. I want the audience to know. Okay.
Okay, when you're 18 years old is when you learn to start flying in Israel. We have this requirement of a college education, and you're 22 years old.
And just like- So they have
Okay.
4 years on you.
So I'm sitting up there, let's say I'm sitting there, I happen to be 22 and a half years old. I'm a bug in the sky, right? This Israeli guy, I've been flying for 4 years now. Who in the world do you think is going to whoop who?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? I don't stand a chance. Not until I can get caught up with that. And
I didn't know that. So that's all. Yeah.
yeah, Israel start. It's a tough deal. They start at age 18.
I know they're a powerhouse of a country for such a small country, for such a small populated country, too.
you know,
And-
compared
and,
to
um,
their surroundings.
Our education system and our outlook on education system has really got to be analyzed. It's not,
Well, of course.
today it is just not with what the times have become. I mean, not what you can go to the internet. If I want to learn about Chinese literature of the 1300s, I can just go to the internet and hit Google. I don't need to sit in a class somewhere, pay $100,000 to go to college to try to learn that. It's available to me.
Yes.
And so the vocational thing, which we've talked about, vocational schools, if I want to learn how to be a whatever it is,
Yeah.
I can go on the job, and that's the best experience in the world. And if you think about it, that's the way we do in the Army, in the
Well,
military.
Something has to change. We're 33rd in education in this country, in this world.
And we're the
in this
biggest
world.
spenders for education.
Yes,
And
33rd.
I think about that a lot. I think about, like, for instance, the pilot training deal with, like I went through in 1 year. Now, come on, you're talking about a guy that's walking down the street chewing bubble gum, and next thing you know, within 4 or 5 months, I was flying supersonic, and I didn't, you might say, drove a Farmall M tractor or something, about the biggest mechanical thing I'd done. But how do they do that? It's because of the training they do. And now, what if you were to take the colleges would take the same way that they teach people in the military? You get through 4-year college in the maximum 2 years.
I'll bet if you boil it all down to why they don't, it comes down to some form of economics.
Of course it does.
Because that your way makes sense.
Of course it does. You
So-
put all these professors out of work.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things that was really hitting the home, because like Hillary was saying yesterday about Trump warning everybody, right? Well, it is a shame that the people get out of high school or college and have zero knowledge about anything financial. And now we're talking about your own personal finance.
It is, isn't it?
Think about it, because it's not rocket science. I mean, in other words, if I don't owe any money, as opposed to I owe a lot of money, it's not rocket science to figure out why. Okay, so I learned something, right?
Sure.
And the financial end of it, I think, is extremely important, because that is what everybody's working for.
Sure they are.
So they
We all
should know
are.
a lot about it,
Yeah.
right?
And yet,
They don't know anything. Okay, here's what people do, Ray. They go down they all get a financial planner. And you talk to anybody, they all have a financial planner. Well, why do you have a financial? Well, I don't know anything about it. I'll let him do it. That's the answer you get. Now think about something as important as your money. You go to a financial planner. Now, what is a financial planner really? He's no different than the clerk at your auto parts store selling spark plugs. Now, he doesn't know the company. He doesn't own the business. In fact, he sells Champions instead of ACs because that's what the boss
he's
said.
like a broker, is what he is.
Well,
Yes.
he really, yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, the broker is supposed to know a little bit, but I mean, you see what I'm getting at. But
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think that that is the fault of the school, and there's a reason for it. What if everybody was halfway smart about it? Man, Wall Street wouldn't have the pickings they have in right now.
That's right.
We talked about the 7% on mutual funds before. And it doesn't take much to figure it out, and all of a sudden you start asking, well, wait a minute, the market was here, and the market went there, and the market went here. How come I'm only getting 7%?
7%.
And always use the example of 100%, so I ask the question, if you're getting 7, then who got the other 93? You see? And then if you look into Hillary, boy, no, don't say anything. But she's Wall Street.
Well, of course she is.
Trump knows this, and he's telling the people.
Big difference. Big difference.
Isn't that something? He's sitting there and he says, he doesn't talk much about Social Security. Well, I had a friend of mine who's kind of figured this up a little bit, and he figured out his wife drove a school bus, and he sold spark plugs, and they had their retirement, and he did the extrapolation on what we were talking about. He says, my God, he says, I'd have over $1 million in the bank right now if I just knew a little of this. I says, well, let me ask you this. Would you need Social Security with $1 million? Oh, heck no. In fact, it was more like $2 million he'd have over the accumulation of the two of them and extrapolating.
Yeah. Still
So,
interesting.
So somebody got it.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Well, we're gonna go to break here.
The flag still stands for freedom.
I am back with my guest Jerry Miguel, and we've been talking about a lot of things today. We're going to talk a little bit about hope, huh?
Sure.
Talk a little bit about hope. I want us to believe in something. I want us to have something. We need something to hang on to hold on to believe in. And I push Donald Trump as hard as I can because I think, in fact, I know he'll make a big difference in what's happening down the road. And we'll have that hope, to pursue happiness and to live the American dream. It's possible. It's possible. It takes everybody.
It takes everybody. And the thing I think about, which I get excited about, is I think for all nationalities and races, different races we have in this country, this is the one hope that I have in terms of, I could see it becoming more and more, we're all Americans and nobody pays any attention, and they shouldn't, and that all the Democrats have done is divide, and treating one group differently than the other group.
And
And
the sad part is that, it's taken away, you're right, it's taken away hope. It has. They don't have any hope because they can't see the end of anything.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. They've been, it's you can call it depression, but you've been held down
Right.
by a leftist society.
Exactly.
That it's even hard to talk about, but they've stifled
Right.
a group of people and groups of people.
And
they
people can
continue
see
to.
it. People can see the demonstration of it. For instance, what better evidence than Hillary gets off so far with something that, my God, anybody and everybody in the world would have been in jail except for her. Now, why do we have all of a sudden this country has a two-law system?
Yes, I say it almost every week. General Petraeus,
And, well, you take,
who did 1/20th
Yeah.
of what she did.
and the thing is that there was a number of people, and there was a guy that was on last night, and she's getting away with, I know for a fact, because I had a top secret out there. My God, if I didn't turn in that deal that it was called the authenticator, if I didn't turn that in the other night, my God, they'd send they'd send to your house and haul you off.
Yeah.
And here she is with, anyway, you can see where with all her first she said she had one servant. My God, we don't know even how many. They destroyed them with hammers that she was using to sending top secret. She didn't know a C meant confidential.
This woman should never say anything negative at all about Donald Trump.
Well, if she's that incompetent, who in the world would you hire her for
No.
down here?
No.
I mean, if you looked at her background and look at her competency, and she sits there and can't recall, she's admitting that she can't remember one thing. I think she does, but and I don't know, here we are back on that, but I tell you, I think where I see the hope is it's the chance for, I think all Americans are going to see that, and we talked about this earlier, and I think it's extremely important, and it's the truth, is that it's kind of a little bit melodramatic, but in the sense, that the election is going to really be decided which way this country goes. Now, there's all kinds of groups of people, okay? There's the business group, and there's this group, and there's that group, right? And there's the union group, and there's the most critical group of anyone or anything in America that's going to decide whether this country remains a free country or it's going to go social communist or it will go dictator because it's already being done anyway.
Absolutely.
We're seeing that evidence right there. And you know what that is? That is the American blacks. They're going to decide the direction of this country. Now think about that, Ray. That's a lot of responsibility.
A whole lot of responsibility.
But this country is not always been kind. It's not always been fair. And it's not always been with an opportunity. And it's not always been just. And nobody knows that better than you do. However, think about it. As imperfect as this country is, and has been, it's still the most perfect country among all the imperfect countries.
Absolutely. Great. Well said.
So
Gary.
what do you want
Very
to
well
keep
said.
it? It's your responsibility to keep it a free country.
Well, absolutely.
Okay, and I look at it this way, and I said, because I've talked to some people about that, and they all agree with me that gets down to whether we end up free or not. It's going to get down. It's going to take all the votes, but it's going to get down,
Oh, it's major. I agree with you totally.
and you agree with that. You know, it reminds me of a deck of cards. You got 52 cards to play the game. You had to have all 52 full deck of cards in order to play the game. But the game gets down to where one card left. There's one card left that will either win the game or you lose. And that's that ace of spades that's sitting in that deck. Isn't that something?
Absolutely.
Now,
I like
that
the
would-
analogy. I do.
And that would make me, and I know you've said it, I mean, it makes you feel pretty proud, pretty good about it, and realizing that that is our pay back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
isn't that something? And I know that the people that remain free are going to, they say it, man, very grateful for that. Now think what that does to racial relations. People start then looking at Americans.
Not the way they look at us now. Not as divided as we are now.
Yeah.
You know.
My God, you know what? I wouldn't. 10 years from now, I'm sitting there or whatever, sitting there saying, "Boy, I sure would, my grandkids or whatever wouldn't be free if it hadn't been for that vote." Isn't that something?
Yep. It is something.
It's something
It
to
is
be
something, Gary. It's a very
tremendously
good analogy.
take pride in and proud of, and I don't know. It just almost brings chills to your spine thinking about, by God.
Well, if you think
this is
about
the
that,
one
that's the
time-
epitome of hope right there.
There
That's
he is.
hope.
That's it.
You know. That's hope.
Give
Yeah.
everybody hope.
Yeah.
But my God, you're responsible for giving your own family hope,
If we
and
ever,
their family, and
if-
their family.
like Donald Trump said, if we could just unite as a country, totally and
Exactly.
completely unite under the will of the people.
Exactly.
You know, and I love to say the will of the people and Donald Trump. You
Yep.
know, because I there's going to be changes and great changes. You know, and like you said, it's not gonna happen overnight.
No.
Of course it isn't. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of people doing the right things. But I think with the right person leading this country, we have more than hope. We're going to take a little break here now, and we'll be back real quick in 2 and 2. I'm back. I want to thank all of you out there today, and I want to especially thank my guest
thank you.
Gary and put him on the spot and say you're coming back, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we gotta have him come back. Listen, hang on to peace, will you? This week, truly, hang on to peace and hang on to hope, okay? Because it's coming. Like we say, do your due diligence, find out about these people, and you can make an informed decision. And like I say every week, a little something to think about is our law enforcement officers. Please, when you see one, go up and thank him for a thankless job. Tell him that we're proud of what they do and we appreciate so much how they protect us. Until next Thursday, heaven's blessings.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that